Hello all, this is Emmerich from metal-detecting-forum.co.uk. I'm here today to check out the DEUS, more specifically to check out what sort of ground depths we can achieve and how user friendly it is. Is it a switch on and go machine? I have no idea, but I'm about to check it out. Hello all, as you can see I've just dug the 6 holes. I'm a lot warmer for the experience because it was freezing cold here earlier, but I'm so much warmer now. I've made a depth of these holes, the usual just about 8 inches approximately, or just a bit over on some. I've got 6 holes. I'm going to have 3 holes that are going to have old coinage. I've got a 1935 penny, I've got my trusted little Henry VIII sovereign penny, and I've got a George I penny. And for the next 2 after that, I'm going to have just a modern day coinage, which is going to be a £1 coin and a 20 piece, because everyone knows what coinage that is, and they can get an idea of the density of the coin. And on the very last hole, I'm going to have a large rusty nail that I've used previously on other machines. Hello all, now we're just about going to put the coins in the ground. I'm going to keep the video rolling while the wife's videoing at the moment, and what we're going to do is continuously put the coins in the ground, fill them in and go over them with the various basic settings. Now all I'm going to do is literally just turn on the machine, and it should be in basic 1 setting, and I'm going to go over the holes just to show there's nothing untoward in the holes, and we're just going to keep it running. There might be some mistakes, but hey ho, let's keep it running. So we'll switch on the machine, wait for a bit, get the coil off the ground. We want the speaker so everyone can hear, and you can see at the top we're in basic 1. Now if we go over here, I'm sure my wife will follow at some point. And we're just going to go over the holes. If you want to come closer to look down the holes, and I'm just basically going over the holes I've made just to show there's nothing in the holes. Here we go. I've gone over with the machine beforehand to make sure there is no other signals in the ground, and at this point what I'm going to do is start placing the coins. Now this last hole I've saved for the big nail, so there goes the nail. If you want to look down that hole, lovely wife, you can see the nail. Now I'm going to fill the hole in. Oh! To the next one. This is going to be a modern day currency, and that's the £1 coin. Let's put a bit of this extra loose mud in. So mate, here we go. I'm getting muddy here myself. If we can remember where these holes are, it'll be great. This is the last modern day coin. It's just a 20p piece, so you can give yourself an idea. Right. Oh, didn't go very well. Oh, now we're going to try the big 1935 penny. Make sure I can put a bit of this loose soil in. Oh, got more mud in my shoe than what I've got in the hole. Next is the real tester. Well, not the real tester. This is George I penny. Got it in the back. I don't want to damage it. Oh, I'm tired out now. And here, I don't really want to do this. This is my Henry VIII silver sovereign penny. Oh. Well, there's the test bed. At the moment, like I say, I'm in basic 1, and we're going to go over these targets and see what happens. And the first one is that deep, that little, very small, thin Henry VIII sovereign penny, and let's see how it picks it up in basic 1. Great. It's not working. In fact, it is. It's picking it up. I wasn't over the spot. There you go. That's basic one. Bit of a choppy setting. It's a very, very small coin, very thin. 8 inches, but it's still picking it up. Next step is to go over, I'm going to have to remember where these holes are, is the Georgia First. Oh, huge signal from Georgia First. In fact, I'm about 2 inches above the ground. Carrying on to the big penny, which is obviously going to give a good signal, yes. A nice crisp signal, and I'm going silly heights above the ground, which looks about another 4 inches above the ground, even though it's buried at around 8 to 9 inches. And now we're coming up to the, what's next, 20p. Nice good signal from the 20p. That's about 2 or 3 inches above the ground. It's quite shocking because the coil's only 9 inches in diameter. And now we've got the pound coin. You can see I'm coming well above the ground on the pound coin. I'm getting a faint signal at about 4 inches. Right, and what happens with the rusty nail? Is this where we buried the rusty nail? I can't find the site now. Oh, where are you? Obviously this discrimination's working because I'm not picking it up at all. So the discrimination works fine on the rusty nail. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is turn around. It's very difficult to see where I've dug the holes, to be honest, but what I'm going to do now, I did get a bit of a jump from that now, but a little bit. What I'm going to do now, I'll come over, and all I'm going to do is change the setting from basic 1 to which is a popular mode, GM power, and we'll see what happens with GM power. Ah, there you go. It's giving that odd humming null of the iron nail, so that's quite distinctive. Obviously a target not worthy of digging. So we're going to come up to the pound coin. This is in GM power. Another nice signal, 2 or 3 inches above the ground. Now we're coming down to the 20p. Strong, solid signal again, 2 or 3 inches above the ground. Let's remember these coins. The next one is the big penny, I believe, yes. The big penny? Yes, the big penny, because it's blasting off, and you can see must be at least 4 or 5 inches above the ground with a nice signal. And we're going to go down to the George I. If I put the coil relatively close to the ground, it's really sounding off. But you can see I'm bringing it above the ground now, 2 or 3 inches, and it's still giving me a signal. Now we're going down to that little small Henry VIII Sovereign from G-Max power. Where are we? It's got somewhat of a one-way signal on this. Oh no, that's a bit better. It's a smaller coin, so it's giving us diggable signal. Right, we're going to go back, we're going to try the setting again, and we're going to change it. We're going from G-Max power to, what have we got left? We've got the DEUS fast mode. That's worthy of a test. Let's give that a go. So we're on this Henry VIII again. I've missed the hole. There it is. This DEUS fast mode, DEUS DEUS fast mode is not, it is choppy on the hammered, but it's still, well, it's not too bad. Yeah, diggable signal. Now to the George. I'm losing these holes. There you go. George the first, right above the ground on that, and the big penny. Big penny giving a good signal, as it should do. Now we're moving on to the 20p piece, well above the ground again, and the big pound coin. Which is 3 or 4 inches above the ground. Not as good on the pound coin for some reason. And then we're left with the iron nail, and it's giving that hummy, buzzy noise, which is the null of that iron nail. Right, now if we come and have a look, we'll check through the modes, see if we've got any more to go through. Pitch, no, that's just pitch. G-Max. Oh, relic, there's so many modes. Wet beach, so we obviously won't need that. I suppose we'll try it in the G-Max mode. Let's see what happens. There's one more G-Max, right. Well, we've got a real null, a real loud null of the nail. The audio's quite clear with that. And we're going to go to the pound coin. That's blowing my ears off. And we're really quite high above the ground. The 20p. That's blowing my ears off as well, quite high above the ground. That's done really well on this ground for some reason, the relic mode. And what have we got next? I think it's the big penny. That's silly heights above the ground. That's a bit like, oh, that must be about 6 inches above the ground. The relic mode seems to work well here. And we've got the George. And well above the ground again, 5 inches at least, and it's still picking up the George, the first copper penny. And we're going to go to that little hammered. Now in relic mode, relic mode, it doesn't like the hammered. But all in all, it's been quite a successful. I'm very surprised at some of the depths the machine's getting, and for a light machine, fully wireless, personally very impressed. Hello all, this is Emirates again. I've just paired the large coil, this Big Brother coil, to the machine. I'm surprised it's not as heavy as I first thought, being such a large coil. And I'm just going to go over the same targets. Unfortunately, I wasn't going to dig all the holes up again and replace them because it's hard work. So you're going to have to trust me on this one. But we're just going to follow through with the large coil, maybe in a couple of settings this time, and see how we get on. Now to start off with, we've got the little Henry coin over here, which was a bit chirpy before. And the big coil does make a difference, and it's got quite a nice solid bleep. Yeah, that's fine. Moving on to the George the First coin. That's really sounding off well. A couple of inches above the ground at least. And then we've got the big penny. That's going to obviously do a good job. But yeah, that's fair few inches above the ground on that one. and we should have, what have we got next? 20p. Yeah, very good signal on 20p, well above the ground. And we're going to get a good signal on the, hopefully on the pound coin. Yeah, very high. And now to the knell in the basic mode. Nothing at all, no sound at all. Right, we're going to turn around and I'm going to go back. I'll just come over to the camera so I can flip it from basic to GM power, which is a very popular setting for most. Right, there you go, you've got that funny null of the bars. I quite like that, the null of the iron nail. We're going down to the pound coin. Nice signal, again well above the ground, as you can see. Very silly heights above the ground on that one. 20 pence p. Really sounding off. 3-4 inches above the ground. Now what have we got now? I'm forgetting. We've got big penny. Oh, there you go. Obviously the big penny's doing well. That's well above the ground again. Really lovely sharp signal. And finally to the George I. Well above the ground again. And remembering these coins are buried 8 inches plus below the surface. And on the G-Max power, how are we going to get on the little hammered? Wherever it is, I've lost the hole. There you go. And that's a very, very small, thin Henry VIII hammered, smaller than the 5 pence piece, buried at approximately 8 to 9 inches. And there you have it, the XP DEUS. Very light, fully wireless, and a very capable machine. And that's it. And if you enjoyed the video, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel. This is Emmerich signing out. Best of luck to all. Cheers, Emmerichs.